Let's see. There are a few that I know. I just know her. Moon. Yes. But in my list, I think we have two Japanese homeschool teacher, right? They're not here yet. But it's okay. Okay. This sex education. Actually, some school they use healthy relationship. Some school they use hygiene and well-being. Yeah. And then I've been teaching this main lessons for two times. And both I use this almost the similar content, only slightly different because I feel the class, the children, and yeah, I change a bit here and there, but the main content still the same. And please remember that this is just my experience, and you shouldn't follow 100%. Maybe if you don't agree in certain part or even all together, and it's still okay. Teacher used to ask Rudolf Steiner, what book should I read in order for me to teach the children? Rudolf Steiner said, the book you should read is the children that stand or sit in front of you in the class. That's the book you should read. So I just share my experience and share what I think it worked well for my students. You, if you are a teacher, you have your own students. So you no need to copy bullet 100% what I shared. You must feel what is the good things for your students, and maybe you can modify a bit, make it your own. Yes, I think this is the right way. Okay. Healthy relationship. When I share about this, it doesn't mean that I have a very good relationship with everyone, or even with my wife. We quarrel sometimes. I share because I taught this main lesson twice. I think I have something to share. Maybe my failure. So you will not repeat it. So yeah, humans is the only species on Earth that have sex education. And humans is the only species that use sex, not all, some can use sex as an entertainment. Some business-minded, they use it to make to make money as a business. So human is the only species on Earth do this. Yeah. So we will start. Just imagine. Okay, yeah. Do you have flowers with you? Flowers. Okay, good. Okay. First of all, I want you to observe the beauty of the flower in your hands. Just observe it for one minute. That's enough. Okay. Now, can you please peel the petal of the flower one by one? Peel it off slowly and just feel the feeling of peeling off these beautiful flowers. Okay. Whatever feeling you have, you keep the feeling to yourself, and I will ask about it later on. And um, after this, at the end, I will ask you a questions. So make sure you listen carefully. So just imagine right now, you are my student. I'm your teacher. So I will, how to say, I will tell, or maybe just imagine, I will imagine myself in front of class. I'm standing in front of my students, and all of you are my students, okay? And the things that I'm going to deliver is for class 7 or class 8 student. So you imagine you are class 7 or 8 student. So this is our sex education main lesson class. A very long time ago, very long time ago, God created the earth. It has rock, water, and plants. So God was very happy with this, and it also has day and night. But very soon God felt, it is a bit dull because it only has rock and plants. Nothing is moving. I think I must create something that is moving and can multiply. Then God created a very tiny species. We call it amoeba. Initially, it was just a very small cell. And this amoeba grew up very fast because it ate a lot. And soon it is time to have its children. So this amoeba divided into two. And then become two small little amoeba. And these two amoeba were very hungry. They eat a lot. And they grow very fast. And very soon, it's time for two of them, to have children. And each divide into two. And now we have 4 amoeba. And this process continue and continue and continue. And the numbers of amoeba increase and increase and increase. But this amoeba looks exactly like its parents. All amoeba looks the same. Then suddenly God said, I think it is quite boring. because this all looks all the same. Maybe I should create something that the children look different, a bit different from their parents. But in order to do this, I think they should have something like egg. Ah, yes, one should have like man's of male and female. Yeah, that's a good idea. So now God create coral that live deep in the sea. When times arrive, the coral will spawn. One coral will release a male egg. We call it sperm. And the female coral will lay egg. The coral release this sperm and egg. Not one, not two, not 10, hundreds, thousands, even not a million. It released trillions of sperms and egg into the seawater. And this sperm and egg will float, scattered and float in the water. And when they meet each other, they form a larvae. And this larvae will float just below the surface of the seawater for a few days, some even a month, before they settle down into the seabed and grow into coral. And this coral looks a bit different from the parents. Some with looks like branches. Some looks like a big plate, a big bowl. So God was very happy. Ah, it looks nice. Then after that, after a while, suddenly God feel, I think it is a bit waste of resources because the egg and the sperm meet by chance in the seawater. It's all depends on the flow of the seawater. And it happened randomly. Sometimes they meet, sometimes they couldn't meet. So it's a bit of waste. Maybe I should do something like looks more efficient. Then God said, then I must create something else. That's the process is more efficient. Then it shouldn't happen by chance. It should happen a bit closer. Yeah. So then God created a fish, female fish and male fish. And in order to increase the efficiency, the probability of the egg and the sperm to meet each other, this male and female fish, they need to come close and the sex organs should touch each other and release the sperm and egg. So the chances to meet for the sperm and egg to meet is higher. So they no need to produce a lot of egg and sperm. Yeah, this is more efficient. And this process, we call it mating. So the female fish and male fish, we come together, we come very close, and their sexual organ joins, and they release their egg and sperm into the water. And this, when the sperm and egg meet each other, we call it fertilization, and it will slowly change into small fish. And this fish will slowly grow into a big fish. Then God was very happy. Wow, now it looks much better than before. But after sometimes, God thinks, oh, although the efficiency increase is not that wasteful, but it still has a lot of risk because the egg still in the water, and if the water flow fast and flow slow, is still very uncertain. And also the egg may be eaten by other species, other organism. Well, I must protect this egg. And then God said, what should I do in order to protect the egg and the sperm? And maybe, yeah, I will create a species that the egg and the sperm is protected, not easily eaten by other fishes. Then God created frog. And frogs, male frogs and female frog, they mate, they lay a lot of eggs, but covered by a thick layer of gel, very sticky gel. And this sticky gel make the egg, how to say, stick together. It's very difficult to eat. It is very difficult to be eaten. And this egg changed into little frog. The rate is very high. Oh, God's very happy. Wow. Now the efficiency increased much better than before. And this egg, when it hatched, it turned into tadpole and slowly grew into frog. God was very happy. Then one day God feel, but the number of eggs still a lot, and the survival of tadpole is the survival rate is not that high. I should create a much better species that no need to lay so many eggs, and the survival rate is much higher. Maybe I should create a species that the egg is protected by hard shell. Yes, and it shouldn't be in the water, because water can dry it, or maybe can flow very fast. Yeah, and this species should lay egg on land. And God creates crocodile. And crocodile, God created crocodile, and crocodile make a nest. Sometimes they use branches and leaves to make a nest circle in shape. Or maybe you dig the soil to lay eggs. And when crocodile lay eggs, after they finish, they lay maybe about 30 eggs, around 30 eggs. God said, oh, this is much better than a frog. Frog, thousands of eggs. with a shell, then it's only needs about 30. And then after the female crocodile lay eggs, it cover with branches and leaves and wait for maybe 50 days. And when this egg hatch, little crocodile came out, they make a very high-pitched sound, calling them their mother. And mother crocodile will come over, remove all the branches and leaves, and carry the little crocodile into the water. And this little crocodile will depend on itself now. The job of mother crocodile finished once it carried the little crocodile into the water. But this little crocodile face a lot of dangers, maybe eaten by other animals, big fishes. The survival rate of this little crocodile is only 20%. And 10 crocodile, only 2 will survive. Then God said, it looks good, but not very good. I should do better. Then maybe I want higher survival rates and less egg, so that less egg need to be produced. Maybe I need these animals to make sure that the little baby is strong enough that can find food for itself, then only they leave their mother or their parents. Yes, this is what it should be. Then God created birds. Then birds lay only a few eggs, maybe 4 or 5 eggs, the maximum. In the nest, birds will sit on the egg to give warmth to the egg. After around a month, so this egg will hatch and little bird will come out. And these little birds have no feather at all, just skin and pinky in color. And so that this mother and father birds will look for food to feed these little birds. And little birds stay in the nest until they grow their feathers, until the feather completes. And the mother and the father birds will teach the little birds how to fly. When these little birds know how to fly, then it can look for their own food, so they will leave their parents. And that's the end of the job of father and mother parents, mother birds. So father and mother birds, after their children leave, and they also need to say goodbye to each other. So the male birds and female birds will say goodbye. Then they flew to other places and separated. Then next seasons, mating seasons, they will look for new birds as their partner. The God was very happy because, from crocodile, 30 eggs, now only maximum 5 is needed. God's very happy with his job. Then after a while, God said, oh, after the little birds grew up and left the parents, and the parents also separate. And when the mating season comes, they need to look for new partner. Maybe this is not a very good idea, but I'm very happy with the numbers of eggs and the efficiency and the survival rate. Maybe I will create something that have a mate, single partner for the whole life. Yes, that's better. And they love each other very much. So God created eagles, penguins, and owls. And we talk about eagles. Mother and father eagles, after laying the eggs, the mother will sit on the egg and the father will look for food until the egg is hatched, and they will feed the little eagle, and they take turns to look for food. One looking for food and one leave behind taking care of the little eagle. And they continue these routines, these tasks, this responsibility until the eagle finish growing all their feathers. But not only that, mother and father's eagles say to the little eagles, no. Although you already finished growing all your feathers, but you need to know some skill to hunt and to fly. Because we need to hunt for our food. In order to hunt for our food, we need to have a very good flying skill. Now daddy and mommy will teach you how to fly and how to hunt. So this little eagle will stay in the nest for a few months until they are capable to hunt. Then they leave their nest. And this little eagle, even they left the nest, from times to times they will still come back to their nest to polish their flying skill, to polish their hunting skill. Even some little eagle, they will fly back to the nest to beg for food from their parents. And these parents will still feed this little eagle. And if this little eagle doesn't return, and father and mother eagle will go their own ways, they will separate. They do each other things. They fly to different places. But the next mating seasons, they will look for each other again. Will look for the same partner. Unless one of them die, then only they will look for another partner. God was very happy when they feed this mother and father eagle, so loving, so loving. Then God was very happy, but God said, I'm still not very happy about the egg. because it's still a bit risky, I want to create something that the mother carry the baby in the body, so that wherever mother goes, it will not leave the egg behind. Yes. And maybe this new species, they should be able to produce their own food for the baby, only for the baby. And these foods must be very high in nutrition so the baby can grow very fast, very strong. Yes, 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 yes. I should create this new species. Yeah, so God created an animals that his favorite food is grass. Yes, it is cow. So father and mother cow produce meat, and the baby of the cow stay inside the mother cow. And the mother cow will carry this baby cow wherever it goes. Either drinking water, eating grass, sleeping, standing. God was very happy because he's very sure the baby cow will be well protected by the mom. And it only needs to have maybe the maximum 3 baby cows inside the mother's cow's body. That's enough. Then after the time arrives, mother cow give birth to a baby cows. The mother's cows no need to go out to look for food to feed the little cows because the mother cow can produce its own food for the baby cow. Then the mother cow will always, together with the baby cow, taking care of the cows, give all the love to the cows. The God was very happy. Wow, so it looks great. And when this baby cow grew bigger and bigger, they don't need the milk from the mother cows anymore. They can eat the food that mother cow eat. Hence, these cows, beside eating the grass, they will sit down and sleep. And when they wake up, they will eat. Some will work, carry heavy things, but that's all they know. Eat, sleep, carry heavy things, or maybe pulling heavy things. And this routine keep on going and going. And God then think, oh, I'm very happy with the survival rate. They are strong and it's very efficient. Then, but it's quite boring. They do all the same thing, and every cow do the same thing every day. I should create a new species that has all the good quality of other species. Efficient, high survival rates, loving, lifelong partners. And I want they to have an extra skill. They must be able to talk. And yes, They must be able to stand straight so that both of their hands are free to do many things. Yes, they must be able to speak, and their hands, they should have wonderful hands that can create many wonderful things. Yeah. Yes. And has all the good quality of other species. So children, what is the new species? This time, the whole class with I don't know how should I describe. Everyone will raise up their hands. Me. And most of them will give the same answer. That's human. That's human. So then, okay, class. Yes, all of you give the right answer. Human. You say humans, we are the only species that can stand upright. Because of this, our hands are free to do many things. We can create a lot of wonderful things. And because we are able to stand upright, it opens up our, I forgot what's the name of this. Then we can speak. We can make different types of sounds. Okay, children. Now, what do you think we as a humans, what should we have? What are the criteria we need to have in order to have a healthy, safe, or to provide healthy and safe environments for our children? What do we need? And then some will raise their hands. Teacher, I think we need to have this house and this and this and that. We need to have money. We needs to have this and that. Okay. So I want to give you an assignment. You go back home. You ask your father and mother how they meet each other and how they get married and what are the preparation they make before they get married and before they have children. Then next assignment, please go and find out your photo since very young, the first photo up until now. You can bring to school and share with other friends. Then that's the first part. The second part. Okay. Just now, now, where or how human come from. When we studied about animals, other species, when the sperm meets with the egg, sperm from the male, egg from the female, when they meet each other, then new life form. The same with us human beings. When the sperm from our father meet the egg from our mother, then it form us. Then how the sperm from our father meet with the egg from our mother? This is what I did. Okay, children, do you know that? Have you ever seen the firecracker during New Year's time? Boom! How it looks like. A very beautiful teacher. Yes. I told them when I was in Japan during the New Year Eve, it is 1.5 hours long of firecracker display by the riverside. So beautiful. And then the firecracker has a few stages. Boom, boom, boom. It's the most beautiful firecracker display I ever seen. Do you like firecrackers? Yes, yes, yes. So children, when a male releases its sperms, it is like firecrackers. Boom. Wow. You can feel the joy. You can feel the joy. And the specialty of us as a man, our sperm can be produced until we are very old. If we have a very good body, if we are very healthy, we can become father even when we are in 60s or 70s. You know Confucius? When Confucius was born, his father was 70 years old. Yes. And our sperm, we can produce it every day. Keep on producing as long as we are healthy. So we start to produce, or we are able to produce our sperm when we start to change our voice, we grow hairs in our private parts. When our voice broke, that's the time that we can start to produce sperm. Then how about the ladies? So ladies, when they were born, they have millions of eggs. But when they grow up until they achieve puberty, they have only 200 to 300 eggs left when the eggs achieve maturity. And this egg is released once in a month. So if for the man, or maybe for the boy, the release of sperm is like fireworks. It's full of joy. But the release of egg in women is full of hope, full of hope. Hope for miracle to happen. Every month, only one egg is released. And this egg will travel through a very narrow tunnel, very narrow. When this egg is released and it travels, the egg only has one hope. That is to meet the sperm. That's one and the only hope. Wish. So the whole system of women will ready itself for this miracle, for this magic moment to happen. The uterus wall, the lining, will grow thicker and thicker and thicker. And this egg will travel slowly at the same time along the very narrow tube, hoping to meet the sperm. And the lining of this uterus, the wall, becomes thicker and thicker. It looks like a very comfortable cushions, because when the egg meets with the sperm, that's when the miracle happens, the magic happens. And when they meet each other, they will join, become one, and rest on the most comfortable place inside the body. That's the lining of the uterus. So the egg travel and wish and ask itself, when will I meet the sperm? But when the egg is released, it can only last for a day. Can only last for a day. After a day, if the egg doesn't meet the sperm, all the hope and wishes collapse. Like a building, the wall of building collapse. So the wall of the uterus collapse and discharge from the body as blood, and we call it period. So when this happens, when it starts from a hope, a wish for a miracle, but when the wish and hope doesn't happen, full of disappointments, and we can see sometimes during this time, the ladies is very, we don't know why, it's very sad, very emotional. Because of this, the wish and hope become disappointment. So, dear boys, we must respect the lady. When we release our sperm, we are full of joy like firecracker, but they only have wish, hoping for a miracle to happen. And most of the time, it's end up with disappointment. So, boys, Respect your classmates, the ladies. Okay. Respect them. If they are, sometimes they are very moody, or maybe this is because of this disappointment. You don't need to ask them. You just care of them. Be more gentle to them. Treat them well. So class, what's your feeling when you peel the petal of beautiful red flower just now? Maybe the feeling is the same with the ladies when their egg fail to meet the sperm. So, okay, that's very sentimental and very melancholic, okay? Certain always say, David, you are too feeling, lah, David. Well, that's me. Then I will share another part. I said, when the sperm is released, if the man is healthy, it contains about 100 millions of sperm. And this sperm enter into human body from the vagina to the uterus. They will swim. From vagina to uterus, from 100 millions, only 1 million can manage to swim into uterus. Some from the bottom of the uterus, they still need to swim all the way to the top of the uterus. And that time only a few thousand left. At the top of the uterus, they need to make a turn, left or right. Only 1,000, about 1,000 manage to make a right turn, choose the right turn to the direction where the egg is released. Among the thousands, only about 200 can reach the egg. But among the 200 sperm, only one is allowed. Only one sperm is allowed to come close to the egg and enter the egg and become one together with the egg to produce a new life. So from 100 millions to one, the one and the only one, that sperm is the chosen one, is the destiny of the sperm. Just imagine 100 million, they need to swim all the ways. Only one will succeed. Only the healthiest, the strongest sperm that can produce the strongest offspring that be able to enter into the egg. Once one egg enter into the one sperm enter to the egg immediately will produce a wall, thick wall, boom, close the egg all together. No, the rest cannot enter. I already choose the one. So you see, boys, it's the girl that choose. They have the right, they have the power to choose. Okay. We are less developed than them. You see, boys, the lower, how to say, the lower species that produce a lot of eggs, like the polyps, the coral, trillions of eggs. The more they develop, then they produce less and less. So boy, you see, you produce millions of sperm, but the ladies produce one egg at one time. So they are more developed than us, you know. We must respect them more. This time all the boys say, apa lah. So, yeah. Then the last part of this sex education is what do you call? Dining etiquette, or how to call? 餐桌礼仪啊，餐桌礼仪。Yes. During my first class, I brought the whole class. Put on the most beautiful, most grand clothes. So the boy wear coats, sepatu, black pants. The girls wear nightgowns. We went to a very high-end restaurants. There was a lady who used to be this stewardess 空中小姐. So she taught the children the dining etiquette, 饭桌礼仪, how we treat the lady. First we pull the chair, let them sit first, then only we sit, and how we offer food to them. You see, the reasons is because right now the whole world is very unfair to the ladies. No such thing, 男女平等 is all bullshit. 还是不平等的，女人还是吃亏的。It's men's world. Yeah. So, and another thing, because that time, my class, at least two families, the parents divorced. I said to them, initially, when our father and mother, they love each other and they get married, their aim is to live together for their whole life, to be together with the whole life, to have a very happy family. But somehow it happens that halfway they found out their direction is different. So they separated. But initially they really love each other and they really want to stay together for their whole life. I share this to my children. So, what's time now? Yeah. When in my class, I asked them, no, I asked our class rep, I have wonderful class rep. I asked my class rep to buy red rose, only red rose. So everyone in the class has red rose. They smell, they draw it, they color it. I say, okay, nice, huh? Smell good. Yeah. Now, peel it. Yes, peel it. They look at me. 老师，你对吗，老师 ？Yes, peel it. And they peel. After that, I asked, what was your feeling? 哎呀，很可惜，老师这样美了。 If they have this feeling, for me, I hit the jackpot already. And red rose, the petal on the white piece of paper, it really looks like a period. Well, that's my experience. Anything to ask?
I think there are one question in the chat, but maybe you already answer it. But anyway, I just read for you. So, what do you see?
I think the most important thing is to let them to know what we need to have before we can have family. There are a few keywords, a few important points. One is love. One is responsibility. One is capability. And you try to lead them to come into these conclusions. Love, capability, and ability. Love. 爱责任感. Oh, responsibility, sorry. Love, responsibility, and capability or ability. Must have these three. But please lead, how to say, guide them to make these three conclusions. So you see, it is very important. This is the essence of our Waldorf education. We must get their physical, soul, and spirit to involve in our teaching. When they will use their physical, that is, when they see the drawing or the painting, when they draw, that's the physical one, or the right. When they tell story, what they hear, and they digest and bring into their own, into their feeling realm, that's their soul. When they have realizations, when you ask, so what's the new species that has all the good qualities and has this and that? Oh, I know that. That's when the spirit is involved. That's when the spirit is involved. So if we teach in this way, we nourish physical, soul, and spirit. That's the essence of Waldorf. If we just input, I don't know what's involved. I'm not sure. If they can come up with something, I know this. You can cry. Questions?
Do you have any question, or you might write in the chat box?
If you don't have questions, I have question to ask. So you imagine just now you are in the class, you are my student, I'm your teacher, okay? What do you think of my sharing just now? You must be, how to say it honestly. How is my main lesson just now? If no, and I'll pick someone.
Xiu Xian say interesting.
Interesting. How interesting? Because I have something, you know, I'll mention it later. That's why I asked. How interesting. You just joined just now, Shakira?
No, maybe it creates like I want to know more. What is the next? What is the next in the story?
Oh.
I have the eager to know more because it is quite special to describe from the creation of the world until how human is has been created, and God's thinking of like efficiency, survival rates, everything's the loyal to the partners, and then comes to the love to the children's, the babies. So I think it's like leading me. I want to know at the end. Yeah.
So if let's say, oh no, sorry, and anyone else? Pan Xiu Xia. Are you there, Xiu Xia? No. Okay. This lady, Z.
You shouldn't have picked me. You should have picked someone else. You always listen to me. Hey, what happened to my camera? Yeah, I have the same feeling with Xiu Xian in the beginning, but I have a question. Is that all in your main lesson, or is that a second part of your main lesson? Do you talk about the children's sex orientation? I mean, do you open this topic up in the classroom for discussion?
Okay. I will answer that before. Please remind me, okay? Okay. Xiu Xian, do you think that if the main lesson is like this, will it be any discipline problem, or how the children will do their work on the main lesson book if the main lesson is delivered like this?
It means for the students to write, I mean the content of the main lesson, is it?
If this is the main lesson of sex education in class 7 and you are in class 7,
yeah,
how are you eager to do the main lesson homework?
Yes.
And can you imagine any disciplinary problem during this main lesson, like people, the student run here and run there talking and chit chat?
No, I don't think so. But I think for grade 7 and 8, they might some of them might pick some, you know, because just now you say the 8 is the one who choose the sperm. But I think if I am grade 7 or 8 or maybe I'm a boy, I will ask, then how about twins?
Okay.
Yeah, this kind of question I think they were.
And why I ask these questions is because in every main lesson, or not only main lesson, in every class, whatever we as a teacher deliver, we must have 3. It's full of imaginations. It must grow up in an artistic way. There must be art inside. And it must be related to us as a human being. Why we learn this? They must know what's the purpose of having this main lesson. If we have these 3, then we solve half of the problem in the class already. Imaginative, artistic, and related to human being. And in my class, this current class 8 last year, I don't know how a mom noticed that her boy knows a lot of this sexual education things, maybe from the internet or what. And the mom came to me. She said, David, can you teach let's see, how do you call it? Forgot you. 避孕啊，避孕 what's in English? 避孕 Anyone help me?
Contraception.
Contraception, yeah. She said, I don't want to become grandmom so early. I said, well, okay. And I brought condom and banana and show to them. And just now someone asked about how about twin, right? And I will briefly explain that sometimes after the egg fertilized by the sperm, it divides into two, and these two continue become two different lives, and that's a twin. And we have identical twins and non-identical twins. I will explain briefly. If they want to know more, I will say, oh, you will learn this when you are in class 11 or 12. One of the girls in my class asked me, teacher, how about sexual transmitted disease? Now I explained that this disease. It is women is more prone to get this. I say, unluckily, unfortunately, yes. Why? Because man, you see, man is the giver, woman is the receiver. So it is, I said, we must 体谅啊, be compassionate towards ladies more. And someone asked, teacher, how eggs came from? I said, most scientists believe that this came from Africa, from the chimpanzee or gorilla. But the boy who asked this question got shocked. Huh? Teacher, they did it with chimpanzee. I said, I don't know. Maybe they eat the chimpanzee or the gorilla. I'm not sure. And one girl, she's very daring. She asked the boys, hey, have you ever masturbated? You know what's masturbate or not? The boy, he came to me, 老师，你讲他问我什么打飞机啊，这个，哎呦，我都不知道怎样回答。The girls asked the boy, 打飞机。And I explained in class. Please don't explain very, how to say, vividly. And don't drop, don't try to avoid. Try to avoid drawing penis and the vagina and sexual organs on the blackboard. You know my drawing, right? I can draw. Please. And please remember, don't give them homework. Main lesson is enough. Don't give them practical. Or who's? Shakira.
Hello.
Yes.
I just wanted to say two things.
Yes.
One thing, if I was your student, I think the way you presented the overall picture, it was very informative without being too overwhelming. But I might think it's a little bit too touch and go. Like it leaves a lot of room for them to ask questions. Because if you work with kids this age, they have a lot of information. They find magazines, not even magazines, they have it like phones, pictures and all. I think maybe there will be space for them to wonder a bit more. And another thing I think would be good to add is a lesson on like consent. On top of sex education, I think nobody is ever too young to learn what consent is, not just in terms of like sexual activity, but just like boyfriend, girlfriend, even small scale consent education would be a good thing to add on. That's all. Thank you.
Yeah, that's good, Shakira. But we only have 3 to 4 weeks. We only have 3 to 4 weeks. In certain school, they divide. Like our school, I think in some grades, Agnes will handle the girl, and other teacher will, I forgot. Male teacher will handle the boys, and they can ask whatever they want. So, but I think it's very important. The point here is because they are just in class 7, 13 years old. I learned my first sex education from the drawing on a wall inside public toilet. And you see, it is good if they have questions. If they have questions and they ask you and they feel that you are very open, then it is good. And we can squeeze a lot of information to them. But as I said, without the feeling, it's only the thinking part is very difficult. If the feeling is empty, then the children right now, they have too much information. They are lacking of the feeling part and the reverence part. They can say, oh, girl, they have periods every 28 days and it lasts for 5 to 7 days. And during this time, the hormone is what, and this what they might feel stomach cramp and this and that. But if they don't have the sense of reverence and compassion towards the ladies and respect the ladies, all the information is become useless. I think the youngsters now lack of this feeling. The more informative parts, they can get it when they are in class 11 or 12. We only have 3 to 4 weeks and they are only 13 years old. If they can bring these feelings, the respect the compassion towards other human beings to class 11 and 12. Then during that time, they study more details. And it is much better. If during this time, we input a lot of information, but it's very dry. And they will think all this is just biology. And when they are in class 11 or 12, we try to deliver more feeling part is they are not that easy.
Eric,
Okay.
yeah, sorry to interrupt, but because now it's 9:30, now 9:32. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe can we extend 5 more minutes from here? Mean that we end on 9. Extend 10 minutes maybe.
Yep.
Maybe we end by 9:40. But just now did ask my question. Maybe you can answer the question.
Oh,
And
what
then
question?
G, do you want to repeat your question?
Do we do like sex orientation discussions in class 7, or we do it when they were in higher grades when they go into the
I didn't do it in my class. For those 2 classes, I didn't do it because I don't feel they know all this. Or I didn't hear anything. You see, sometimes we plan like this and then we are a bit doubtful whether to ask or not. But suddenly if one of them mentioned about this, okay, there's the signal, there's the message. Okay, I will share about this. So far, my class is class 8 now. I never heard they ever mentioned about sex orientations. And they never asked. So if, let's say for me, if I tell them we have this and that and this and that, this is homosexual, this is gay, and this is lesbian, and this, I think it's too strong. They might be too overwhelmed. So that's why what I said, you must see the children in front of you. Don't follow me exactly.
Okay. Thank you, Z. So any last question from the floor? It's not. I asked one question. I asked one last question. Yeah, I did see in my school, there happened one student who, I mean, foreigner with another girls, and then because of that, the girl reject. So there something happened in the class. Yeah, and also in my school, so the size is quite small. Yeah, so will you talk something regard to this, the feeling of love in this, the feeling of love?
How old is the children?
Yeah, for 13.
13. You mean, did I share something about love to them? Yeah, I share, said, yeah, you will, sometimes you will fall in love, or maybe you like one of your classmates or your friends. It's very normal. It is very normal. In my school, there's one class. There was a boy who admired a girl. And this boy wrote letter to the girl. And the mom of the girl was very unhappy, complained to the teacher. And then I said to the teacher, I say, if I were you, what will I do is, I will share about fighting fish, the male and female fighting fish. The male is more beautiful. Even the rooster and the hen, rooster is more beautiful. Peacock, the frog, how the frog call during the rainy seasons to attract the female frog. And this is a very natural thing for a male to show its best to the female. The female will know, which male is stronger, so that I can have the strongest and healthiest children with them, or with anyone. So the female will choose. I say to the teacher, I will share the story. Maybe I bring even fighting fish and show them the photos. Then I will tell the boys, why don't you show the good quality of you? Good in class, good in academic, good boy. Show to them, show to the girl. You don't need to write the letter right now because anyone can write letter. Why don't you do this first and see how? You know, I like chicken. I keep fighting chicken since I was 12. In the world of chickens, the hens, we only follow the champions. We only follow the strongest rooster. If the other rooster want to mate with other hens, it need to put more effort to chase the hen. I told the teacher, just tell the boy that he just need to be his best in many things, good students, good human being.
Thank you, David.
Hey.
Yeah. Do you have any last reminder, conclusion to us? For us to end the.
Okay. There's no one size fit all. No one size fit all. That's my experience because I have this group of students. Sometimes the idea how should I deliver came out based on this group of students. When I prepare my lesson, I will think. Sometimes when I do gardening, I will think. Sometimes ideas suddenly came to me. Oh, I should do this. I should do that. So it's all depends on the group of students. I've been teaching this main lesson for 2 classes. Only 70% the same. The rest is depend on the dynamic of the class. So you must feel your students and see which way is the best for them. And also as a Waldorf teacher, whatever we teach, we must have 3 things: full of imaginations, artistic, and related to human being. If we have these 3, then the class half of the discipline problem will reduce almost half. And if our connection with the children is good, no problem. No problem. This is joy. It is a bless to become a Waldorf teacher.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, David. And yeah, so thanks for your participation. So thanks for participating in this plenary session. And then yeah, that's the end of this session. And then maybe see you on tomorrow, right? Tomorrow we have a last plenary session, which is the talk from Pusala. And if you have any questions, you might, any question or any feedback regard to MWTC or plenary session, you might write it through the feedback form that I sent it. I send it now again. Click the link and send it. Thank you so much. Good night.
Mm.
Nice.
Thank you, David.
Yep.